Hey everybody, welcome back to Buddy's Spirits and Cigars, and we're back for another episode. Today we're going to do... Start that over. Hey everybody, welcome back to Buddy's Spirits and Cigars, and we are back with another full episode. We're going to do Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Store Pick this time. This is from Northside Liquor in Poto, Oklahoma.
Yay, Pat.
And you've probably seen the Stranahan's episode, so they definitely have great taste in doing barrel picks. At least we're believers up to this point, so we are looking forward to this. I've heard good things about Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. A little bit of information about that. The differences in this and the number 7 is that this is actually aged between 5 and 8 years. The typical middle of the road age time is about 6 years, but it can go up to 8 years. So that'll answer your age statement question that you have. So it's typically aged at least 1.5 to 2 years longer than Jack Daniel's number 7. The process is the same, however, as the number 7. This is just aged longer. So a few episodes ago, when we were, it was the VIP exclusive episode with Nish Patel. He asked a question that we got into about the difference in bourbon and Tennessee whiskey and things of that nature. So, getting down to a technical aspect, Jack Daniel's meets the requirements of a bourbon. The difference is, and this has been a controversial topic for the end of time, I guess, ever since this whole thing's gotten started. The difference is every bourbon out there, with the exclusion of, I think it's Booker's, before it goes into the bottle, it's ran through a charcoal filter to get out particulates and things of that nature. Jack Daniel's does theirs before it goes into the aging process. So what they'll do is they'll take maple wood, they'll burn it down, and they'll take the charcoal that's left over from that, and they will make a filter with it. They'll actually pour the distilled whiskey through that filter, pour that into the barrel, and then it'll go into the aging process. There are some bourbon enthusiasts out there that claim, well, that's like adding flavor to the whiskey instead of the whiskey taking on the flavor and getting everything, all the composure and everything from the barrel itself. Jack Daniel's, they also put it in a charred barrel, and it's mostly corn mash and things of that nature. They meet the definitions up to, the differentiation is they actually filter it through maple wood before it goes into the barrel for aging. All the other bourbon companies do a activated charcoal filter after it comes out of the barrel before it goes in the bottle. So take your stance on that. Fall where you want to fall. So that's the clarification without having to type 3 or 4 pages in the descriptions of a video. That's where it's at. We wanted to make that, and you've let the sticks fall where they fall. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You either like it or you don't. I mean, it's
right. I mean, bourbon in itself has to come from America. It doesn't have to come from Kentucky. There's no law that says it does. So, as long as it's made in America and it's 51%
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
aged in
new charred oak barrels and things like that. I mean, so you can make your own decision on where you stand as far as if this is bourbon or not bourbon. I'm just going to say
they call themselves Tennessee whiskey. They don't want to be called bourbon, so call them Tennessee whiskey.
That's
why the hell are we? That's not a big deal for. I'm going to get up on my soapbox.
Okay.
Get up on it, boy.
I mean, they want to be called Tennessee whiskey. They don't want to be called bourbon. Don't call them bourbon. I mean, Tennessee whiskey's fine. They do something different than any other bourbons do. That separates them. Leave it that.
Well, and so be it. I mean, You either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm with you. It doesn't matter if this is labeled as a bourbon or a whiskey or something else.
Gin, even. It's good or it's not good. You like it or you don't.
Like it or
and if you don't like it, that's fine. You can shit on it. If I were going to drink it, I'd probably find a reason to shit on it.
Well, and that's Simon's
Without
job.
question. Without question.
So anyway, a little bit of education for those of you that didn't know. You can research this and find out a lot more in-depth stuff to make your opinion. But I mean, okay, whatever.
Everybody has opinions.
It's Tennessee whiskey, and they were cool with not being called a bourbon. It was accepted. They put on their labels that they're a Tennessee whiskey, so I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to call them a bourbon if they want to be called a bourbon. I don't care. So anyway, that's that. Let's dive off into this thing.
By God, I was getting worried.
I know.
Thought you were going to talk another 2 minutes before I get a drink.
Well, I messed up on the video and said that, well, I kind of messed up. I said that Kentucky bourbon is charcoal filtered or something like that.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
It is charcoal filtered, but it's not during the process. The finished product is charcoal filtered, if you will. So that's, I didn't add all that in there. We got to talking about other things, so I left it alone.
Dish had a head of steam.
There you go.
So
This has a very unique smell to me.
This,
I don't know really how to.
I'm going to be pedestrian and just say it's kind of boozy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
there's not like a clear, to me, like a clear caramel or vanilla note or leather or wood or whatever. It's just kind of a, this smells like liquor.
It's almost
you know.
kind of perfumey in a sense. I don't
A
know.
it's got a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of a cloying, perfumey type.
I don't know that.
You're smelling the glass, aren't you?
No, I'm smelling. I'm getting some
Cigar
alcohol,
ashes,
Yeah.
baby sneakers, asparagus,
but
whatever.
I don't know if just because I know that it's filtered through maple. If I'm not smelling a little bit of maple, just because I know that.
So I should have waited. I swayed your opinion.
I don't know that. I mean, maybe not. I mean, there's
Almost flowery kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of a floral.
Maybe that's
Now
the
that maybe
perfumey.
that's the note that I'm thinking. I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's try it.
Damn you.
You all right, buddy?
Don't spray it all over the table.
Cam's like smooth.
That goes down.
You okay, Bubba? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, that's not very eloquent and flowery, but I mean, it's Jack Daniels.
I think
It's a
it
little,
has more of the wood flavor.
yeah,
I mean, which makes sense. It's aged longer.
yeah, it's got a little more age to it, but I mean, when we went to Burn, you remember the VIP pre-party you and I went to at Burn, Oklahoma City? They said, hey, free drinks on the house, but they had a list of things that it was. So the least offensive thing was Jack Daniels and Coke. So we're like, keep them coming. So we got really well acquainted with Jack Daniels and Coke that night. And
Without a doubt.
anywho, saying that to say this, I mean, without the Coke, I mean, this was it. I mean, it is a little bit, maybe a hair smoother than regular Jack Daniels. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but when it's free, you know.
Yeah.
So I would not pass this up if somebody goes, hey, I've got a bottle at home, as a matter of fact. But it was a gift.
Is it store pick?
No, it was a VIP locker member bought an entire barrel,
Okay.
oh, Jesus, wow.
and he gave out a few. So,
Wow.
anywho, yeah,
Bought an entire-
I've never cracked it though because I have so much other stuff. But
This is not bad.
this isn't. No, this isn't bad at all.
Not bad. I mean, Jack Daniels is not something that I'm going to go to. If I was to go out to a bar or lounge or something, that's not going to.
Definitely not, unless it's free.
Unless they're out of everything else,
Yeah.
pretty much. And I'm not crapping on Jack Daniels. I mean, there's a lot of people that really like Jack Daniels, and that's their prerogative.
I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, that was like the '80s metal rock star drink of choice, man.
Right. So I mean, that's. But to me, this single barrel store pick, it's aged longer. I do think it's better than regular Jack Daniels. The old
It
number
is.
7.
It is.
I think so.
I think it's taken on more characteristics of the oak, and to me, that makes it better. And I can actually sip this and not make faces. And not that the old number 7 will just lock you up and make you do crazy faces like Quality House or something, but you know, it's not a bad presentation, but I'm not going to seek it out and hey, does your menu have Jack Daniel's single barrel, blah blah blah. So on a scale, rating scale, I'm going to say I'm going to give it a 2 1/4. I think it's okay. It's not bad at all, but it's not really something that I'm probably not gonna buy another bottle and go seek it out and order it at a lounge or something else. So it's just a little. I think a middle of the road bourbon, 2.5, 2.75. That'd be something that'd be cool to have at a lounge. You know, I'm not really gonna try to order this from the lounge. You know, just me. So that's why it's kind of getting the lower end of the middle of the road for me.
I'm going 3.
Solid 3.
Solid 3. Solid 3. Nothing that I don't like about it. It's not great.
Great.
It's just it's nice.
But what was the spicy, not spicy rating?
Not spicy.
Not spicy.
Yeah. So you got that going for you.
Because there are people that do enjoy that section of the ratings.
Real.
Yeah. So
What? Well, shouts out, folks. Yeah, I had no idea.
I think you were sorely missed. What? You were good. Emphasis on the sore part.
I know those bandages had to chafe, buddy. I'm proud of you for being
the
strong
worst
and
part
making
was
through
just
it.
the coming off of the bandages. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
you get that little bit of stick there.
Well,
and you
that's
get a
why you
little-
pull with the grain.
Well, you know what
what I mean?
you pull with the grain, and then well, shit. Now you got to put it back on and pull it back off. Maybe not in the same ways, but you know, a lot of pulling, a lot of
No
tugging.
more massage parlors. huh?
No, hell no. No, you see one of them some bitches on the side of the road, you just keep on driving.
Side of the road.
You just-
Mobile.
Gas
But a
station,
mobile massage
sushi,
parlor.
and massage parlor all
Maybe
in
that
one.
was a problem. You didn't go to a brick and mortar. You went to a mobile
You
one.
The fact that it was in the back of a 78 GMC with a camper shell should have given you all the clues you needed. But no. Besides, when has Fort Coffee ever had a mobile massage parlor, bro?
It was the
And
boutique
wax, I
experience
mean-
of it all that really drove me in, you know.
Did they have it like a certain dialect that they used, or maybe even an accent?
He paid extra for the Duck Dynasty package.
Okay.
They're getting him going, shoot it, shoot it. I don't know what that means, but anyway. I'm going to go with a 275.
7.5.
275, you said.
It's
You're making me out to be the Simon this time.
well, I
Took
mean,
a fat
somebody
shit on
somebody
me,
has
yeah.
to be that guy. This time it's you. You're closest to him. We figure it rubbed off on you.
That's exactly right.
I think
His
it's
was on the one if
I
he
think
was
it's a
on.
decent pour. The flavor's good. I would drink it again. However, like you, I wouldn't pass up other things in a lounge or a bar I was at for that necessarily. But it's good. The flavor's good, and it's actually pairing pretty well with this cigar. So
Let me
I
ask
think
you
it
this.
complements okay.
This or Gentleman Jack?
Gentleman Jack.
Really?
Yeah, because the price point on that's better, and I think it's just a hair smoother.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think what Gentleman's 80 proof. This is what 94.
This is 94.
Yeah, it's 94.
So, I mean,
Well, I mean, if I'm looking to drink Gentleman Jack, I'm wanting something a little mellower,
Yeah.
and that's a mellower.
Yeah,
that's a more mellow pour, and it's less expensive.
yeah.
So that puts it, 3/4 of a point higher, just off the cuff. to me. So
Yeah. Well, this was I think it was like $55-ish, give or take.
For a store pick, that's not a bad
So
price.
that's not a bad price at
no,
all.
for a store pick, that's a good price.
But I would definitely I'd recommend to try it. It might be in your wheelhouse. It might be something that you enjoy. If you are interested in this, Northside Liquors in Poto, Oklahoma, go see Pat.
Absolutely.
She has this in her store, and I think they're doing pretty solid on their store picks. So
Is this the one right off the bypass? You
Yes.
get off right there.
yeah,
It's the nice one.
Kind of catty corner from Burger King.
Is it the one in the old?
Across the
Right
street
across from
Casey's.
Walmart and all that.
Is it the one in the old Charlie's
Yeah.
Chicken building? There you go.
It's the nice one.
Super nice people. Pat is very helpful. I've had a conversation with her for quite some time about the store picks and the experience they got to have doing that. Super down to earth people and knowledgeable, very willing to help and everything. So go see Pat, Northside Liquor. Great people. And like I said, the price point's not bad for a store pick. $55, somewhere in that neighborhood is what it was. Yeah, it's a little pricey for Jack Daniels, but you got to keep in mind that this is a store pick. It's a single barrel that they purchased, and I don't think it's bad. It's not great. It's not way up there for me, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. So, you want to talk a little bit about the cigar?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, this is, in my opinion, and I've smoked pretty much every Rocky cigar there is. I've been to their factory twice.
Twice, you say?
Twice.
I am a Rocky fan, boy. I don't mind to tell you. And
Same here. Shout out
they,
to Rocky Patel Cigars, Dan Patel and Heath Hill.
when I first smoked the first cigar, the first Disciple that I smoked, it really impressed me. And I'm a full flavored cigar guy, bold cigar guy. The Disciple definitely meets that criteria. It's a San Andreas, Mexican San Andreas wrapper with a nice Nicaraguan blend for filler. It comes in 4 Vitolas, which we're smoking the half Corona today, which is a good short little guy. They have a Robusto, one called a Bala, which is kind of a weird figurado.
It does have a
Size.
different shape for
Yes,
sure.
and I'm not going to say that what I think it is, and then there's the 660, the Gordo, fatty. I relate to that a lot. In my opinion, the 660 is the best of the bunch. With cigars, you're looking at getting flavor. 40 to 60% of the flavor on a cigar comes from the wrapper. So when you have a smaller ring gauge, you get more flavor from the wrapper than you do from the filler. That being said, the 60 ring gauge, the flavor of that filler, even though we're also adding in a little bit from the wrapper, but just that combination, that particular percentage combination, to me is the top of the class. This by far, in my opinion, is the best Rocky cigar made, for what that's worth, which is nothing. But it's a damn good cigar, and I smoked them several days in a row when we first got them, because that's how much I like them, and I never smoked the same thing twice.
Well, I remember you telling me.
And I told Nish I'd fight him.
Yeah.
I said, "This is the best Rocky cigar made. Fight me," and he did not.
Yeah.
And maybe because he was too having a good time drinking some martinis and talking to folks. But I would have gone to Fish City with him over it, and I love the guy. But all kidding aside, it's an amazing cigar.
Well, I remember when you first got these in, you're like, "Hey, bro, got a new Rocky in. I really think you should try it." And so I was like, "Okay, I trust Fletch's opinion because we both like bolder cigars and we have a similar palate in that instinct." But in that, you said that, and I said, "Okay, well, what size did you get?" And you said, "Man, 660 all the way." I said, "Okay, all right." So I went to Winston's in Fort Smith, Arkansas, Pipe and Cigar Emporium. Definitely go get your stuff local. But anyway, 906 has them as well. I tried that, and so I was like, "Man, this it really almost blew my socks off. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a really good cigar, had a lot of flavor, not anything that's going to make you sick to your stomach necessarily, but there's just a lot going on in the cigar, and it's very smooth. And I became a fan from the very first one I had, and I've liked them ever since. This is the first time having this size. I like the 660 better.
Well, we just got this in for the event, actually.
Right. And I'm not saying this is bad.
No, I
I'm
mean,
not at all. But I like those Nicaraguan.
well, you get the
fillers and
nuances
stuff,
of the
and-
blend well enough with this little half Corona,
Correct.
but this is a 15 or 20 minute smoke tops, you know. So with the 660, you really get to enjoy it, and you get to get
Right.
more of the changes of the flavor from start to finish through a cigar. This one is so short, you almost don't really get to really detect any of the changes, because by the time you get it lit, you start smoking on it and think, man, this is really good. It's like, shit, I got to put it down because I'm burning my fingers.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I like the when you have the longer cigars like a Toro size, something like that, maybe a double Robusto. You can actually basically cut that cigar into thirds.
mhm.
And, you know,
Yeah.
the first third is different than the second third.
Yes.
And
yes.
as you get to experience that you can actually tell that there's a lot of cigars. There's not a lot. There's some cigars that between the first third and second third, it's a gigantic difference.
Yes,
I mean, it
yes.
just really changes in the flavor profile, and that's a great experience in itself.
And of course, too, with the longer cigar, when you're smoking it, this one's burning a little hot, on the
Well,
draw, because it's so short.
Short and the
With a
ring
lo-
gauge. You know.
And the smaller ring gauge. So with a longer cigar, you have a little more distance from the fire to your face, if that
Right.
makes sense. So
Oh, it does.
it's not quite as hot,
On the draw.
on the draw as when you get to something this small. When you're already looking at a 2-inch cigar, 3-inch cigar from the start, it's gonna get that way pretty quick.
I
So
agree.
it's a little more enjoyable for our larger ring gauge, larger cigar,
Yeah.
to me.
Well, that's all we have time for on this episode. Be sure that you go to Northside Liquor in Podo, Oklahoma, and get you a bottle and check out all their store picks. They have 4 different ones right now, I believe. And this pairs well with the cigar. If you're in the local area looking for cigars, Winston's Pipe and Cigar Emporium on Rogers Avenue across from the mall.
You know where to go.
Downtown Garrison Avenue, 906 Cigar and Cocktail Lounge. I say that backwards every time, but anyway, a great place to go hang out. They have food, and they have drinks, they have cigars, they have entertainment. You guys will enjoy it. It's a great place. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.